Raleigh, North Carolina, one of the most searched places to live when people are looking to relocate to North Carolina. But today, I'm going to give you 4 reasons you should not move to Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going to talk about cost of living, traffic, home prices, salary, and how is the weather here. So the first reason why you should not move to Raleigh, North Carolina is the secret is out and everybody is finding out about Raleigh and wanting to move here.
Right, it's getting crowded in here.
Currently, the population of Raleigh, North Carolina is just over 469,000 people, and it increases annually by 1.35%. People are moving to the Raleigh area by the hundreds and thousands every year. And one of the reasons why they're moving here is because of the jobs. The jobs here are very, very good. For instance, Google just opened up a hub in Durham. Durham is about 35 minutes away from Raleigh, but they just opened up a hub there and they created about 1,000 jobs. They're also building an Apple campus,
taking my girlfriend to the Apple store,
valued at about $1 billion.
$1 billion!
And they are expected to bring about 2,000 jobs there. We also house about just over 10 colleges and universities, like NC State, Meredith College, and Shaw University, just to name a few of them. And even with those jobs that are being created by Google and Apple, we've also got the Research Triangle Center, which has about 50,000 employees. Now, of course, with all these people moving to the area and people who already live here, the traffic you expect to be bad. And it's not too bad, and that's compared to like places like New York, Chicago, Miami, and Washington, D.C., which is all good big cities on the East Coast, but it is getting there. The I-440 Beltline, which is about just over 16 miles long, circles Raleigh, and it does help with some of the traffic, but it itself is getting a lot of heavy traffic. So a lot of people are starting to run into that issue of being such a heavy, long commute to work and from work. And a lot of people don't live in Raleigh. They actually live on the little outskirts of Raleigh, like Cary, Garner, and Wake Forest, which are little towns and cities that are just outside of Raleigh in Wake County. So the next reason why you should not move to Raleigh, and that is if you are dependent on public transportation.
So this is public transportation.
Then you're going to get it, but it's only a bus. Unfortunately, even as populated as Raleigh is with over 500,000 people, a lot of people are driving around Raleigh with their own vehicle. So they do have a bus system here. It's not the best. Unfortunately, there's no subway here like New York, Chicago, or even DC.
What the hell?
But so the most way to travel around is going to, of course, be by car, Uber, taxi, walking, or by bike. Now, they do have the R line, which is downtown. It's a free hop-on, hop-off type of ride, which is great if you're in the downtown area or if you live in the downtown area. But other than that, though, if you're looking to get to one part of Raleigh to the next, like north side to the south side to the east side, I would suggest you getting a vehicle. Other than that, if you're going to move here, just be aware that there's not big public transportation like a subway. The next reason I talk about why you should not move to Raleigh is going to be home prices. Now, this is going to be dependent on you and where you're moving from. Some places where, if you're moving from Chicago, New York, California, even Phoenix, Arizona area, the home prices there are going to be a little more expensive, but the average price here in Raleigh is around $457,000. You're looking at getting a 3-4 bedroom home, 2.5 to 3.5 full baths, and around 2,100 to 2,300 square feet for that amount of money. Now, again, for you, that may be a plus, that may be a con. It all depends on where you're moving from here, but for the most part, you would need an average salary of just about $77,000 from what I've read up.
Okay, we need to explore something a lot cheaper.
And like I said earlier, you can definitely find that same house probably with 3-bedroom, 2-bath home outside of Raleigh. We've got Cary area, which is probably a little more expensive. It's probably a bad example. But we've got Holly Springs, we've got Garner, Wake Forest, few Great Veranda, just to name a few places that are outside of Raleigh, where the home price will be a little bit cheaper. Now, the cost of living in Raleigh is higher than the United States average by 2.3%. So Just be aware of that. If you're moving here, of course, it depends on where you're moving from. This could be a plus or minus for you. Now, if you're looking at getting a job here, the average salary is around $70,000. Now, going back to the home prices in Raleigh, North Carolina have increased in the past few years by 46%. And according to Axos Raleigh, they recommend you have a starting salary of around $77,000 if you're looking to buy a home in Raleigh. And just remember, the average salary around Raleigh is around $70,000. So we're talking a $77,000 difference, possibly if you're looking to buy a home. And of course, these are just data provided by Axos of Raleigh. And the next reason why you should not move to Raleigh is it gets very, very humid here, and we have a whole lot of pollen here.
Pollen?
So if that's something you're not used to, you may not want to move here. I know a lot of people get affected by the pollen because of their allergies. It affects my wife and my son, and a little bit of me too. With the pollen, I think I'm used to it. I lived in North Carolina for over 30 years, so I'm kind of used to it. But anytime pollen season gets around, they are sneezing like crazy. And it gets very humid here. The humid index here is usually about...
It's too humid down here.
On average, for humidity-wise, you're looking at about 78% humidity on top of the hot heat. So you're looking at about 90, 95 degree weather here. Sometimes it gets a little higher than that. Probably gets a little higher than that, more than I'm actually saying. And on top of that, you got the humidity, so of average of 80, 85% possibly. So just be prepared for that if you're not used to that. If you enjoyed this video, please check this other video right here up top where I talk about the buying process in North Carolina. And the other video is a video YouTube recommends to you. I'll see you guys in the next video.